So you have Bear Mountain project, and then if this other one comes up, so you'll be talking about, I don't know how much you'll be talking about. Of course, you have the Dubai Gold Project. Those of you from the Southeast, Hummingbird Resources came here, they obtained a mineral development agreement, concession agreement in 2019. That concession agreement, nothing was being done. A company decided, because they have projects in Mali, they have projects in Guinea and somewhere else. So, but then they left the Liberian project and focused on those. So when we took over, we engaged them. Why did you acquire our asset to keep it? And then they say there are projects in Guinea and Mali or all that. I say, oh, so you could take risks in Mali, where there's a military administration, where there's political instability. But then a country like Liberia, which is one of the most stable places in Africa, guaranteeing your investment, you decided to keep our asset idle, and then you do that. We are giving you, we want you to come back to us in short period of time with your proposal, your plan, because you have to do feasibility study and give us your plan, your development plan. That company started working on that. Of course, all of them were not happy with that because there was a leadership that was pushing them. We're not doing it because we hate company. No, but it's our country. It's our country. And if you enter the Ministry of Mines and Energy, you will see quotations from the president that he made in 2023, December, after the election. That quotation, we put it up with our own quotation so that every time we went to work the money, it reminded us that, hey, we have to work towards resource custody. There can be no sovereignty. Sovereignty can be meaningless without custody over your resources. Sovereignty is meaningless without custody over your own resources. And nobody will come from anywhere to build this country for us. Only Liberians to build it. And nobody should deceive you. We don't have lack of capacity, technical capacity. I will cite one instance. The World Bank, in fact, we had this management services contract for LEC. And the LEC had CEO, COO, CFO, and all of that. Some of them were foreigners. But then, so much. And the idea was Liberians did not have the capacity, or they could not find the technical capacity in Liberia to be able to run the Liberia Electricity Corporation. When we took over, we said, no, that's not true. We have. So the president mandated us with his support and approval. We decided to restore the Liberia Electricity Corporation to a statutory structure. We started a vetting process that we chaired at the Ministry of Mines and Energy. We chaired the recruitment process last year, and then we received about 70 applications from professionals, Liberian professionals, both at home and abroad. Today, I'm proud and we are excited that there is a very dynamic management team at the Liberia Electricity Corporation that the country is celebrating. It didn't happen by accident. It happened with determination from a leadership that was truly committed, meant what it said, and said what it meant. That's how you transform a country, by being intentional, by being realistic, by being honest. Because you see, in order to continue to serve your country, you should be able, the people should trust what you say, what you do in a particular time. So, my dear people, the energy potential, I haven't even touched the energy potential of our country. We have the hydro potential. And those who are electrical power experts, they will agree with me that our hydro potential, so far, the only potential we know about our hydro potential, the only information we have through feasibility study is about the St. Paul River. But when we took over, we said, no, we can't just focus on one river when we have so many rivers in the country. So let's know the potential of those other rivers. So we were able to push for a pre-feasibility study to be done along the St. John River. And as I speak to you, that feasibility study has discovered that and revealed that along St. John River alone, there are 4 possible sites for hydro projects. And we are situated. Guinea just recently installed, they just commissioned a 300 megawatt hydro power plant. So why can't we do that? Why can't we do the same? We can do that. We are capable of doing that. All we need is that commitment, that genuine commitment. So I can go on to, again, I will continue to emphasize, please read our handover speech. Please take interest in it, read it, because it's intended for us to have a genuine national conversation. Yeah, it's time for us to be realistic about our country and be focused. This country can become what it was established to become. And I'm not pessimistic about that. I'm very optimistic about that. This country can fulfill the purpose of its creation. Liberia can be a great nation. Liberia can be richer than...
Just so you know, the suspects that were arrested for drug, he said he's from the office of the vice president. He said he's from the office of the vice president, and he keeps to bribe the LTA agents here. And so the LTA, the tension continued to build here. Because, I mean, he's claiming that the LTA ate the money. You have his ID card. So, from what we are told, he's from the office of the vice president. And he came to talk to the DA to release. This is his ID card. 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 And so we are told he's from the office of the vice president, who actually came to talk to the LTA. Hey, guy! And so the LTA, the place is getting tense here. Yeah, at Simple Bridge, the LTA, there are allegations of the colleague there who is from the office of the vice president attempting to bribe the LTA to release somebody who they say is, I mean, somebody who is one of the suspects. And so, there he is. Tension continue to build here with the LTA. Tension continue to build here with the LTA. The LTA is insisting that it will take it. The LTA is insisting that it will take it. This is St. Paul Bridge, LTA, under Commander Fode Malva. And from all indication, the news that we are getting is the fact that the colleague who has been placed in the vehicle is said to come from the office of the vice president, and he keeps specifically to bribe the LTA. According to him, he has given the LTA some money already to be able to release the suspect, but because they didn't release the suspect, and so he started agitating, and this aroused the angers of the LTA. Everybody inside the cable recording, everybody. The DA action is being seen also. So as you can see, the DA is not taking it lightly. Anybody who beat the man, you on camera, you can't be beating the man.
Honorable Chair and member of the committee, I must highlight a critical challenge. Our state-owned enterprise continue to fall short of their revenue contribution commitment. Their persistent failure to meet their obligation remain a major constraint to our collective fiscal goal. If the SOEs were contributing as required, we will be much closer to achieving the domestic revenue target by the end of this month. It is therefore important that we initiate a constructive national conversation on how SOEs can be compared and supported to fulfill their statutory and fiscal responsibility. Strengthening SOE compliance is not just the LRA concern.
Okay, good morning, Liberia. Good morning to wherever you are and whatever you are doing. A pleasant welcome to yet another edition of the Today Show right here on Spoon 107.5. It's always a pleasure to sit here every morning to serve you a very delicious breakfast from Odious Congo Town in Minerva, Liberia. This is the Today Show, your most preferred breakfast program here on Spoon. And the show is also being simulcast on Fabric 101.1. As usual, my name is Yekezi Zobet, sitting in as your host alongside Sylvester Wowie, and together we're going to be driving you through until 10 o'clock this morning. Welcome, and let's have a wonderful time together. Invite someone to listen along or view along, for those of you watching the show. And if you want to catch us live, we are streaming live via Spoon TV, Fabric TV, Super TV, and via our YouTube channel at Spoon Talk. So you can catch us live on these social media handles, and of course you're going to watch and listen to the show. What do we have lined up here this morning? So first we cut across Liberia to speak with some of our correspondents so that you get to know what's happening in the country. We understand that the feast of the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson has once more been postponed. For what reason? Don't know, but we get to our Nimba County correspondent, specifically our Upper Nimba County correspondent, to bring us up to speed with that development. We also bring you trending issues in the country. And we will start up with this explicit video that's circulating social media about a young woman who, according to her, she was intoxicated, and she went about dancing, bending over and dancing, but unfortunately she was recorded, and her privacy was kind of shown, and she's been bullied on social media about this video. We talk about that a little bit. Sylvester Wowie is here. I think he's been following that video. Yeah, so we give our own perspective about that this morning on the show. But also we got other trending issues in the country. Pupi Herentz has resigned finally from the ANC, the Alternative National Congress, you know. Pupi, alongside with three other lawmakers of the ANC, was suspended of recent, 6 months ago, during the impasse at the House of Representatives. They were suspended based on their position taking So he was suspended alongside Nima County District Number 2 Representative Jan Flomod and that of Alex Williams of Maryland County. It's Alex Williams or Anthony Williams. I hope to get the name right. But they were also suspended for, their role play in the during the impasse at the House of Representatives. So they were suspended from the party. According to the party, their role, contravened, the party's mandate that it did not show party discipline. The party took another side, apparently, but they took another side, opposing the side the party had taken. So it was predicated upon that they were also suspended for 6 months, and the 6 months elapsed on the 20th of November. And after the expiration of the 6 months, Phoebe Herons decided to resign from the ANC. Plus, we've got a lot of other issues. You listen to a video. For those of you listening, they are monitoring the devices. And for those of you watching, yes, of course, you did watch a video about an individual being arrested by the LDA, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. And according to the commentator, he's linked to the office of the president, the vice president. But I actually is, I think, the deputy communication man for the group of 77. Okay, and the vice president has come up cleared on that. After the incident yesterday, the vice president came up very, very clearly and said, whoever is, whether the person is his relative or associated with to him in any form and manner, once you are engaged in any drug crime, of course, he's not going to protect you. He's not going to cover you up. Even if you are his wife, his child, his uncle, his auntie, regardless of who you are, once you are involved into the act of drug crime, he's not going to protect you. So we get to know the details about that development on our training issues segment on the show. But Sylvester Wowie is here. Sylvester, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Yakazin. Good morning to our many listeners.
Sylvester, good morning again.
Yeah, good morning, Yakazin, and good morning to our many listeners.
Okay, it's good to have you on this morning. How was your night?
I'm grateful to God for life, Yakazin, as usual.
All right, it's good to have you here once more. So let's get into it. Folks, at 9 o'clock, we play host to the Deputy Managing Director for Administration at the NTA, the National Transit Authority. As we know, of recent, new fleet of buses arrived in the country to help with public mobility or public transportation. And those buses have been deployed in various locations in the country, making transportation fares affordable. Okay, but we want to know more about those buses, the deployment process of those buses, and other issues relative to the NTA. So we've invited over the Deputy Managing Director for Administration at the National Transit Authority to sit on the platform at 9 o'clock to provide us all of those details. So Toga Melvin Sivas will be here with us as a guest at 9 o'clock. And of course, as we go on with the discussion, we hope to, open the lines subsequently so that you too can make your input or ask the necessary questions that you will want to ask or make the necessary comments that you may want to make on that segment of the show. So basically, that's the lineup that we have here for you on the show this morning. But first off, let's go to Nimba County, where our man Victor Cooper is to tell us what's happening there in Nimba County. But according to information, for the second time, the feast of the late Senator Prince Jeremy Johnson has been postponed. It was earlier postponed following a communication from Samuel Koga, the senator of Nimba County, that they cannot go ahead with feast when the family is in conflict, when the family members are at a loggerhead and all of that. And the issue of the Prince Johnson Polytechnic University there in Gompa City, Nimba County, remains unsettled. Students of that university, since the death of the senator, have not been able to return to classes. And there's been this report of selling the institution to this private international missionary institution in the United States of America. From one point to another, the vice president came up and later on said that the institution will not be sold anymore, and all of that. So he says everything, about the Polytechnic is unsettled. So they can't leave everything just unsettled like that and then go ahead with the feast. So earlier, they said they indefinitely postponed the feast. But right after that, the immediate family members held a press conference and said that the feast will go ahead. As a matter of fact, the feast will even be able to bring, the family members together to be able to, settle some of their differences, some of, their own resolved issues that are persisting within the family. But again, we are waking up to news this morning that the feast has been postponed once more. So in a few days, if it have not been postponed, that is on the 28th of November, Nimbayans should have been converging, not just Nimbayans, but supporters, well-wishers, family members of the senator would have been converging there in Gompa City, Nimba County, to celebrate the feast of the late Senator Prince Jeremy Johnson. But it seems that wouldn't be the case any longer. Let's see if we can get on Victor Cooper this morning to give us more details about that from Gompa City, Nimba County. And don't forget the Spoon 1075 Mega Daily Cash Flash or the radio entertainment game is on. All you've got to do is to dial the playing code, which is star 799 star 3 hatch. Star 799 star 3 hatch is the call for this morning. Yeah, so star 799 star 3 hatch is the code. I've been coming very low. We apologize for that. Yeah, so star 799 star 3 hatch is the code for this morning. Once you dial that code, it takes you to the payment of the playing fee, and the playing fee is just 50 cents US or 50 Liberian dollars. And you get into the draw after entering your mobile money pin, and you stand a chance to win up to 15,000 Liberian dollars here, plus other material prizes we've got in stock for you. So the more you play, the more your chances are to win. We are trying to place a call to Victor Cooper to, of course, tell us what's happening in Gompa City, Nimba County. If we cannot get him, then, of course, we'll go for training issues this morning because it's 23 minutes on the flip side of 8 o'clock. So we are once more placing a call to him. If we can get him, maybe along the way, he's going to telephone us to, give us details about that postponement of the Senator Prince Jeremy Johnson's feast. Okay, so again, we have not got to him. I don't know what's the problem. But Sylvester, welcome once more. Let's begin with the trending issues. I mean, you've been on social media. I mean, as a matter of fact, you were the one who even drew my attention to this particular incident
And-
on social media.
And
Uh,
I like your exception. You know, yesterday
uh,
we were both.
no, you drew my attention to that particular. I didn't know anything about that incident
Let's
yesterday.
not dispute on this. We were both informed about
Who?
this video trending on social media,
Who?
Facebook, to be
Who informed us?
But Afra Kali.
Oh, Afra Kali?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, one of our colleagues here.
Maybe Afra informed me, but I can remember you informed me about this.
Okay, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
I know we were both informed by Afra while on our way from Winter Chapel area, and we saw the video, and I listened to the lady in question pleading with the blogger to take down the video, and that caught my attention. Despite her plea, to the blogger to put down the video is still up, and I later.
But what difference will it even make now? When the video is put down. I mean, what
is wicked about this?
Probably, some people have downloaded that video. So even if the bloggers take the video down, there'll be others who might still want to post
about
it.
This whole thing is,
the
blogger recorded the lady doing her telephone conversation with me and posted it as well. And for me, that is shared wickedness. The lady told you in her plea that look, she was intoxicated, and yes, we know what it is like when you are when you are under the influence of alcohol or something else that is beginning you, which means it's something that controls you. And she pleaded, but instead the guy recorded her and posted it along with a video. For me, that was shared wickedness, and I think this LTA artist that was recently introduced, I think it needs some public information, and this act needs to come into action to save victim of will be circumstances that were unfolded on yesterday, or the video trending now on social media.
Yeah.
A journalist will not just walk into somebody's privacy. This guy, yes, it was in a public area, but she was out having a social life, and you just recorded it and make it public. We know, it's very hard to control the social media. We don't know who records some of the people use fake names and what have you. But it is what it is, and I later heard from other females who are condemning the action by the blogger. Some are there bullying the lady.
Yes, she's actually going through a lot of bullying.
She's going through a lot.
Because the video is explicit. It exposes her, privacy. Which is damning, and a lot of people dragging her on social media and all of that. But like you said, you don't record people without their consent.
Yes, unknowingly, you don't do it.
You don't record people without their consent.
You not record, because if you're a journalist,
let alone record,
you have to
go ahead and publish that recording, on social media or wherever, without the person's consent. So that lady can press charges against whoever the blogger is that published that explicit video about her. Whoever the blogger is, she can press charges. She can find a lawyer. I don't know if she has the money, but she can press charges against that individual. But let's just take on Victor Cooper, because he's returning my call. Let's get details about the postponement of the feast of the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson there in Nimba County. And we come back to that because I've got a lot to say about, that particular incident. Because that lady is going through a lot of bullies right now. And you know what that does to an individual. Let's talk to Victor. Victor, good morning and welcome. So, Victor, let me just recall you. Let me recall you or another.
What's happening to the network system in Nimba County?
No, it's good. I intentionally cut off the call to call him on another GSM. Yeah. Okay, Victor, good morning. Welcome. You live on the Today Show here on Spawn 107.5.
Yeah, so good morning, Legacy. Good morning to you this morning. Good morning to everyone and our colleagues with you in the studio. And my pleasure being on the Spawn Show here this morning.
Okay, it's always good having you on the show. We are hearing news or report of the feast of the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson being postponed once more. Can you confirm that?
Legacy, thank you. Usually I will appreciate you flagging this issue to keep informing the people. Basically, Senator Samuel Coleman Koga has officially confirmed the postponement of the late Senator feast scheduled for the November 28, 2025 of this year. So officially he was on Radio Kegima this morning, making an official pronouncement to the public that all measures have been set up, meetings have been set up with the wife of the late senator, including the vice president. So the reasons why the postponement was here was to focus on the school and see how the school can resume to the public. There are 2 many aggrieved students from the school who are always pending protests at the institution. So you cannot leave those things on setting and then come to kill cows around the place. So the issue of killing cows should not be most important in the county, but the legacy of the senator should be recognized first in the county before the feast can be held.
But one may say the feast is not just about killing cow and enjoying and people enjoying themselves. The feast is about, also recognizing, celebrating, memorializing, the late senator. So it's not just about eating cow, cooking and eating plenty and people drinking and all of that.
That's the most important thing. Legacy, again, I think the legacy of the senator too is also one thing that everyone look up to in the county. So with the senator saying those legacies should not be left aside and focus on only feast celebration in the county. Who knows, right after feast, people might go this place where you will not get location of anyone anymore to bring together to discuss issues. So those things should be said first before coming out with the feast in the county. Not the only prioritize fees across the country, but the legacy of the senator should be prioritized first when the school is functioning or when just have been set up for the school to be resumed in the public. We can now talk about the fees in the county.
Okay, so the question is this time around. This is the second time for the feast to be postponed. The first time it was postponed after the Senator Samuel Koga wrote a communication to the vice president, flagging similar issues that there's an apparent conflict in the family. The family has a loggerhead. And the school it remains closed and all of that. So all of those issues, should be settled before they can go ahead with the feast. But then, a few days after that pronouncement, we saw family members, immediate family members of the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson having a press conference and announcing that, the feast is going to, will go ahead. The feast is still set for this November 28th, just about 4 days from now. So this time around,
not for about 3 days.
Yeah. So 3 days. So this time around, where is this postponement coming from? Is it a collective decision to postpone the feast this time around? Is it not a unilateral decision or a decision by a few group of people a few group of family members, a few group of supporters of the late senator?
Yes, so you can see, you are right. For me, this time around, I see the possibility postponement because there is nothing happening.
No,
Like I said,
I'm not asking you about, you know, your perspective as to whether you see the possibility of postponement. I mean, with the postponement now,
Who's making the decision?
Who's making the decision? That's a question. Is it Senator
So-
Koga? And if it is Senator Koga, is he doing that in collaboration with the vice president and with the family members of the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson? Are they all in the know of this decision?
So the reason why you hear me saying possibility, it is because since the vice president and the superintendent spoke the other day of the postponement, they haven't come on the radio yet to even make further statement with regard to whether postpone or not postpone until again Senator Koga is coming back on the radio this morning to have told the public that the postponement stands. So I'm very sure that this postponement is coming from across the household, more especially with the Senate, the vice president and that of the county authority headed by the superintendent. Today is the 25th. We got 2 more days to the program, and we are not hearing anything from those hierarchies of the county. So I believe this thing has been confirmed already from the bigger authority, more especially with the vice president, including the county superintendent.
Okay. I mean, it's just postponement. Yeah.
This is a fees that have to do with the former Senator Prince Johnson and the godfather of Nimba County has a family. I mean, the family, those who have the county authorities making decision, but the family come first. The decision should be coming from them. And when the superintendent made the first pronouncement, it was overturned by the family member this time. Who's announcing the postponement? Is it the family member or is it the county authority?
Yeah, I think that's why
Koga is almost the official spokesperson of the family.
Almost the official spokesperson.
But I mean, his
Koga is
pronouncement was
almost the
overturned.
official spokesperson of the family. Koga has been speaking on behalf of the family since the death of the senator in the county.
Yeah, but the thing is, he spoke on behalf of. Okay, he wasn't actually the one who spoke earlier. So I think it was the superintendent or
it was the superintendent who made the pronouncement.
He gave the communication.
Yeah, so he recommended that the day be postponed, and that was approved by the vice president. And the announcement was made by, I think, the superintendent, and the vice president himself appeared on a local radio station there, and confirmed that decision.
But then,
the family members
who had a press
overturned that decision. Some of the family members, I can remember, walked here at the compound to invite Spoon, to attend that particular press conference. And in that press conference, I mean, they announced, contrary to the decision that has been taken by the vice president, by Samuel Koga and the county authority. I mean, they announced something contrary.
So you guys, it shows that what Koga is saying is coming from the belly of the family, because at the time we are not seeing anything in the county. Even if the program could be held by the sound, the council question should be arriving in the county.
Okay.
If it could be held, the preparation, like bringing the chief and elders together, should be happening in the county. Even the VP could better be in the county now, putting some preparation in place. The superintendent is not in the county as we speak. So tell me now, in my mind, what Koga is saying is coming from the belly of the family.
For me, what I suspect is apparently this fees is being postponed because of the threat coming from the students from the PYJ Polytechnic, because they are threatening to disrupt the celebration. Certainly. Apparently, that could be the reason for which the fees is being postponed.
On a daily basis, the students at the PYJ Polytechnic usually stage protests. Just recently, they said they were going to move to Moravia on the 24th. I don't know whether they were there to stage a protest against the wife of the late senator and her compound over there, where they said everything they're going to be doing over there, she's going to be taking responsibility of them. So I don't know whether it was here or not here. So if confusion will keep coming from the PYJ Polytechnic on a daily basis, and you're going to have fees. And they said openly that if the fee is not meant to generate funds to reopen the school, they were going to disrupt the entire fees program in the country. So I think from this perspective is where the senator is also coming from, through the family members. But we still watch to see. We'll get 2 more days. If it's going to be here, we'll still see it. But he has officially announced to the public that the fee have been postponed to the public.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yesterday there was some drug seizure or arrest by LDA in Nimba County. You want to bring us up to speed with that before you take leave of us?
Yeah. So thank you, Yegezi. It is true. 39-year-old Ali Traore and Dalibor Sago was arrested, but they were arrested from both Yekepa and Ganta Polo. So Traore was arrested with 105 packs of tramadol at a Yekepa border deposited in the car tire where he was transporting it to Liberia town on a motorbike. While Dalibor Sago was also arrested with 10 packs. 10 strips of the tramadol at the Ganta Guinea border after he had gone to sell, and he put it on the wheelbarrow and he was cursing. After that, how DEO went cursing, and they saw the funny with him. So the both of them have been taken to the Ganta Magistrate Court awaiting trial.
Okay, what's the estimated cost of the tramadol, the drugs arrested?
So for Traore, the amount was the street value is 11,600 USD, and the value in LD is 2,100,000.
Okay, the other individual.
So Dalibor is 100 USD. You got a 10 strip, and the value in LD is 20,000 Liberian dollars.
20,000 Liberian dollars. And where are they currently?
They are currently then transferred to the Ganta Magistrate Court here.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Victor Cooper. It's been a wonderful time having you on.
It's our pleasure, Yegezi. Thank you.
All right. So Victor Cooper is our Upper Nimba County correspondent there, filling us in with developments from Nimba County for the second time. The feast of the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson has been indefinitely postponed.
And Yegezi, what I expected to see from the county authorities and the family of the late Senator Prince Johnson, or something like a joint press conference that could be addressed by the county authority and that of the late senator family to confirm postponement of this fees, because we have the county authority coming out to postpone the fees, and then the family of the senator, the late senator, come to say no, and the fees will go on as planned, and another side come out again to announce postponement. So the entire public now is confused as to who's making the decision on behalf of the senator.
Well, we wait to see what the tournament turns out to be. But for the fact that at this time, there is no signal of preparations, there's no signal of convergence in Nimba County. So it means that that postponement I think is a collective decision,
and to disrupt the process, which could just overshadow the entire essence of the fees, in remembrance of the fallen senator. So I mean, for me, that is something that needs to be addressed, but the family and the county authority should be coming over joint statement and not unilaterally making statement and later something else come up.
Yes, I mean, I do agree with you, especially judging from recent incident where the vice president came and made a different announcement that the fees has been announced, and then on the contrary, the family members came up and said something contrary, that the date of the feast remains the same. So I mean, it kind of portrays that there's some kind of a conflict within the family, or between family members and some higher ups in authority. So I think I do agree with you. A joint press statement would have send an emphatic message that, hey, you know, it's a collective decision, and I mean, the decision is not something to be skeptical about, as it was in the past.
And I think they should also be coming up with reasons for which, a clear reason for which the fees has been postponed.
I think that the reason the correspondent stated was because of the issue of the university. The issue of the university remained unsettled. And of course, I mean, the students of that university earlier threatened protest action on the day of the feast. So probably they kind of frightened about that. They, probably did not want any form of disruption during the feast of the late senator. And so that's why they decided to indefinitely postpone the feast at the end of the day. But back to the video, this explicit video that's circulating social media. All right. So, like I said, the action by the blogger, whoever the blogger is highly condemnable. You don't want to expose another person to public ridicule, to bullets, on social media, in their communities and all of that. You don't want to do that. She can press charges if, she has the right lawyer and she has the money, to pursue that case. She can press charges against you because she did not consent for you to do that recording, even though that was a public space. But yet then, you don't just go about in public space, recording people without their consent.
Especially so you are a journalist.
Yeah, but even if you are a journalist, journalist must record with consent.
In a public space. Most often in public spaces, a journalist normally don't seek permission because, if you don't want to be seen publicly, don't appear in those areas. But that was a social scene as well. It's not somewhere like where a politician is going to make a statement and you have somebody who came to listen to the politician.
And moreover, the nature of the video and your intent.
And we know people go to the beaches and then dress half naked. So you can just go to the beach and then take up your camera and begin to film people who are half naked and send it in the public.
Yeah, and moreover, even if that lady had consented, she was apparently intoxicated. She wasn't herself.
She wasn't herself.
Yeah, she was intoxicated. So
he took advantage of her situation.
Yeah.
To abuse her. But now, where are the female advocacy groups? We know if this was someone of prominent, but now we could hear the advocates, the advocates everywhere around here. They could be making a louder noise, coming out with statements, presenting petitions and what have you. But this lady was bullied the whole yesterday on social media, and we didn't hear from a single advocate group.
Yeah, and I think that's bad. But again, this should be the lesson for every Liberian woman, even for the victim of this bully. This should be a lesson. Because she too, I think she made some mistakes, she made some error. You need to have self-control. You need to have self-discipline. You need to, as an individual, as a human being. If you cannot discipline yourself, if you don't have self-control, it becomes a problem. I'm speaking from a perspective that, as an individual, you got to know yourself. I'm not saying don't go about social places. Don't drink alcoholic beverages. That's not what I'm saying. You can do that. You can go about, to have fun. You can drink alcoholic beverages, just for pleasure, for satisfaction, and everything. But that should have limitation. And I want to believe that lady is now her first time and consuming alcoholic beverage. She's probably drunk, and she should know that if she's drinking at certain limit, it gets her intoxicated, and when she's intoxicated, she misbehaves. She should know that as an individual, that if you drink a certain limit or if you drink excessively, you get intoxicated. And when you are intoxicated, you are not somebody who would remain calm and cool and just comport yourself, but rather you go about misbehaving, carrying out behaving indecently. So if you know yourself as such individual, if you go into the social environment, especially a public space, then you should also know at what limit to drink, because you should know that if you drink above certain limit, you're going to get intoxicated, and when you get intoxicated, you become very, very uncontrollable. You do indecent things, you do things that are uncalled for, you do things that might even expose you yourself to public ridicule. So that's why you need to know yourself and to have self-control, self-discipline. You don't just go area and you know that when you drink you can misbehave. You know that when you drink you can make. You're not like some people that when they drink, I don't care to whatever level, to whatever extent they drink. I mean, they are just calm, even though they're intoxicated, but they don't go about misbehaving, saying things that are not supposed to be said, or doing things that a normal person wouldn't do. So I believe you know yourself, but what you lacked was self-control. What you lacked was self-discipline. So I think this particular experience is not just a lesson for you. It's a lesson for every Liberian woman. And not just the females, but also the men. Yeah.
But you see, no, you can see. Yes, I do agree with your advances, but public figures are, treated differently compared to people living their private life. If somebody who is being paid by our taxpayer money chooses to go to the beach, get intoxicated, yes, he can be filmed and then exposed so the public can get to know that, look, this man is not the character, to be a public servant or to serve in whatever position that government or public figure is serving in. But here's a lady who's living her private life, just to go
So,
out
Mr.
and
Bowie,
have
are
fun.
you in any way insinuating that because you're not a public figure, you live in your private life, and so you shouldn't have self-control? You just go about
I did
and
say,
live
look,
in
I
it
told you I agree
anyhow.
with your access, but I mean,
Yeah, I'm not in any way trying to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, those bloggers, whoever did the video recording, I'm not in any way trying to say they are right. I've started off by condemning the action, and by saying that the lady, can press charges against them.
Because it's like,
All right, but also as an individual, you need to have self-control.
that is right.
You need to have self-control.
We tell the ladies to dress properly because, just by dressing half naked at time could, tempt someone to rape them. But I don't think that's a nice excuse for someone who decide to rape a lady because she's dressed half naked. No, people should have their freedom. If the lady chooses to wear whatever clothes that pleases her, I think it is her right. But it doesn't give someone else, the opportunity to go and rape her. So this lady had gone up. She want to live her life. Yeah,
Okay.
she should have her self control. I agree 100%. But it shouldn't give anybody a right to to take advantage of a situation, film her, and then expose it to the public. That's what I'm saying. We have to be the professionals.
Yeah.
And
And nobody, like I said, nobody has insinuated or hinted here that those who did the video recording are right. No one has said that. I'm just here talking about self control and self discipline, knowing yourself, and it's just an advice that I am giving out there. I'm not saying anybody. Yeah, I'm not saying people have the right. If you dress indecently, I mean you must be raped. That's the way I'm saying. You got the freedom, but also for example, I mean on our laws, I mean theft is a crime on our law. So because theft is a crime, you live in a criminal prone community, a community where there are a lot of theft go on. So because maybe you feel theft is a crime,
then
you leave your property outside because you say theft is a crime. So when I leave my property outside, nobody's supposed to take it. It's against the law.
It's like
so you leave your property outside. So if you leave your property outside, what becomes of you? Somebody will come and steal it. So and I mean, if you're lucky to get to come across a person, I mean that's fine. You can press charges against the person. But what if you don't see the person?
Yeah, because
it's at your disadvantage, right? Because you will be losing your property. And that is where wisdom comes in.
You live in a community where you have 2 men suspected thief, and knowing that theft is a crime in the country, but you chooses to you choose to leave your window or doors open, and then
so I mean that is exactly what I'm telling her. Why it's true that she has the freedom to go to bar and drink alcoholic beverages. Why it's true that she has the freedom to go out and socialize. She has also got to be careful. She has also got to have self-control, knowing herself that if she drinks excessively, she misbehaves. So if she's going out or if she's socializing in a public space, you should have some limitation to your drinking. When you drink at a certain level,
but
you will get drunk and you misbehave, you act indecently, and there's a possibility that your indecent behavior may
when I took this,
turn against you, and that is exactly what happened in her case.
One of the best decisions I ever took was not to drink alcoholic beverage any longer. Because this is something when you are consuming, the more you consume,
you don't really drink alcoholic beverage?
No.
Are you sure about that? I think I saw you. I think a few weeks ago.
It can be a few months. Not
was it a soft drink or in-style bottle you were drinking?
I'm going to. I mean, we are approaching close to a year now. I know, and the more you drink alcoholic beverages, the more your appetite call for it.
The more you become addicted. That's addiction.
Yes, yes, So at times, those advices we are giving now make a lot of sense. But once you sit on that table, you can see it's not just something you say. She had gone to the beach with her friends. Just an unfortunate situation, and we hope it serves as a lesson not just to her but to those who are today seeing what she's going through on social media. Because we got other ladies who stand before the camera, open it to to perform and do whatever they want to do or send out messages. Those are ladies who are doing it, voluntarily. And nobody is questioning the bloggers on those kind of situations. But here you have a lady who call you, begging you to put down the video and
that is one aspect where I think she blundered.
God, listen to you.
Yeah, that's one area where I think she blundered, because the video had already been posted.
Yeah.
So if
what I got from you is because if face wasn't showing clearly.
Yeah.
So
if I were to be an advisor to her, I would have told her, to just let it be. She shouldn't call any blogger to take the video down. To just let it be, to just let it slide, because the fact is, if you watch the video, her face is not showing. So for the fact that her face is not showing, she can even lie and say that's not her. That's not her. I'm a Christian, even though lying is not called for. But they got some harmless lying. They got some positive lying that can save you.
Lie is nothing but lie.
Yeah, lie is nothing but lie. But there are some lies that I think God Himself is even in support of.
God doesn't support anything.
Sylvester. So there are some lies. There are some lies that even you yourself, if you don't do, God will be angry with you. like seriously. Okay, let's take for example, right? Okay, during our civil war, we're fighting among ourselves, right?
Yeah, certain group of people were being targeted,
and certain group of certain ethnic group was being targeted.
Yeah,
there were certain checkpoints that you, Sylvester, if you reach, they will ask you Mano or you Gio. And if you are a Mano person, and if that checkpoint is guided by maybe soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia, who are fighting for the government, you know what they will do to you. So you for example, Sylvester, you know your small crime from Grand Judah, but you are nearby. All right. So if you reach to that checkpoint, they ask you, Sylvester, where we? You Mano, and you know that particular checkpoint is being minded by, AFL soldiers who are targeting Mano people. So in that case, will you say you Mano? Will you touch you?
But even at that,
no, answer my question. You said you said God is against every lie.
Every lie.
Answer the question. In that case, you, Sylvester, if you Mano, will you admit that you Mano?
Even Peter did not know Jesus, so I would deny just because I want to survive.
But that's a lie. But that's a good lie. So do you agree with me now that there are some lies that are good, harmless, that even if you do, God will support you?
Yeah, they get harmless lie.
But then you agree with me now. There are positive lies. There are harmless lies.
But
so in that case, if you Sylvester, you go to that checkpoint, you say, because the Bible says, "We're not liars, I will not lie." You say, "You Mano, man." They kill you. You go ahead and say, "God, He said will get better with you," because God gave us wisdom.
But these are lessons I think we learn, in time past. We will do everything to avoid the repeat of those mistakes we made. So this is why what it is going through now. I expect those who are advocating for women in this country to not just wait when we have big names or prominent people involved in situation before they come out to do their advocacies. A situation like this, we should be hearing from them. They should be coming out with press statements, should be organizing press conferences, because you can reach out to the largest public through the media and speak to what the lady is going through now. Counsel her, because nobody know what she intends to do next. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's true. She needs counseling.
She's traumatized right now.
She is. Okay, all right. Yeah, so she is. She is traumatized. But folks, it's 4 minutes on the flip side of 9 o'clock. We are expecting Honorable Toga Melvin Cephas here as our guest. He's Deputy Managing Director for Administration at the NTA. But in the meantime, while we are with him, I'm told he's in, he's been caught up by, traffic just right around the ministerial complex area where we are situated. So in the soonest possible time, he will be here. But in the meantime, let's take to some calls. Let's hear you out. A lot of you on Facebook, a lot of you on social, I got it, on TikTok, on Instagram, and all of that. You've been following this issue. Call us and have your say 0777 771 0777 771 05 101075. Those are the numbers to put it through. 0777. Let me see if our hotline. Oh my God! So our hotline is not on. So you want to call us on 0555 101075 0770 417724 0770 417724 555 101075. Call us on these numbers and have your say. 0770 417724 0555 101075. What have you got to say about our talking point here this morning? Let's see if we can talk to this person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
I'm calling from Rehab.
Okay, let's hear you from Rehab.
Yeah, what our lady she needs to do. Nobody should look for a blocker or look for anybody else.
Okay.
She wanted to make her day so she made it.
All right.
Yeah. No woman will know herself or do that kind of thing and say blocker want to block me or people feel out there stuff. Don't look for people. Nobody dress you to go there. Thank you.
All right. You don't think she was intoxicated?
When intoxicated, who give her the liquor? All people that went there that were intoxicated, nobody showed that they So she walking on the go, she drink.
Okay. Go ahead. So are you essentially saying, for example, in another scenario, if somebody dresses indecently, it gives you the right to rape the person too?
Nobody rape her there.
I mean, nobody rape her, but I'm just giving another scenario to analyze from to make your own import. So, for example, if a teenager dresses indecently, or even an adult dresses indecently, does that give you the right as a man to, rape her?
So? No, it's with just somebody dress, you kind of wear dress and funny. I remember once on Broad Street when I took a man on Broad Street. Here's all dress code. Nobody told her to do. When you go out, you know.
And so you support that action also?
What?
You support that action?
Because I support it because you're supposed to dress the way you should dress. Okay. I support it because it makes a person man he has been on the street for thousands of years. You know it.
So you support somebody being raped?
Papa.
Only because they dress indecently.
You put yourself together as woman to go on the street. You don't so go reckless where anything can happen at any time. Supposing there's two things around, people running around. Before now, your whole left open, somebody take a picture. Then
so you were in shock.
Thank you.
You can run.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, ma'am, it's good hearing you out. It's good, hearing you. Let's hear you out.
I'm Mrs. Kumle. I call from FDA.
Okay. Let's hear you.
Yeah, that's what my son is saying this morning. It made me to be downhearted. So can a 9-year-old child dress a person teenager to go on the street? People just rape people. But my point here is that our girls' children, when they leave, they got a notion in them. Sometimes they don't go out with anybody in our club.
Mm.
They go there, they buy a bottle and set it in front of themselves. Then they're looking for somebody that would be out and then a friend will come and say, you see that guy? And guy said, you want to be with you for the night. And they begin to offer them. Sometimes some of these guys, when they are just a kid, they begin to do themselves, going half naked, and these guys, sometimes they start recording them. So I feel so downhearted that a girl child will be half naked in the street. And I love her advice and money, but like you say, as a woman, when you know you cannot dream excessively, don't do it, because when you do that, you will go to that extent. But you need to help all your journalists. Our girls are dying. Our girls are exposing themselves for nothing. It was not something she meant to do, but I know she was drunk and she had gone to that extent and nobody there to control her. When we were coming up, I was speaking to you, Mrs. Skule, I had my sister person that would drink, but I couldn't drink. So I don't always control them when we go to nightclubs. When I see they want to misbehave, but this time they don't go with nobody. They are up there. I think that they say they are prostitutes. So when they may see them, they give them more liquor and they begin to expose themselves.
Thank you.
It's coming from my heart this morning for that daughter. We need to pray for our girls. Thank you, this morning, my son.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Thanks for calling. Let's talk to this person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Yes, I'm Morris Boy. I'm calling from down Grupo Road, district number 4. Sorry for the quality of my voice will be on like 2 weeks revival, so I'm host.
Okay.
Yeah, as you regularly always call me Pastor Boy because you love the title. Yeah, I saw the photo and I saw the video. I think she appealing for people to take that video that is now good. Somebody said she meant it, and that woman never meant it. That's why we always say we the Christians is not good to drink, because you may not know you're doing it. I'm sorry to use you, but I'm using it as a reference. You can take 4-5 beer bottle, and at the end of the day, will not do you anything.
How's right?
I take only I'm sorry to use you. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry to use you. Or any other person can take 4-5 bottle. They will not drink it anyway. They will be in a normal form. Or the movement, I take maybe a glass of beer or whatever that you think about. I will not be to myself, because I think that woman, normal person that I saw. I just saw it not too long. I just saw it, and she appeared to people take it back. And what I saw, she was not normal. She was not normal. Yeah, she was on a certain influence. And nowadays you know what happened when you go to a party. People that go to a party, you must be very careful, because your own friend nowadays they can even put drugs in your drink. And you did not know. You take just little. At the end of the day, you do things that you have no right to do. Yeah,
that's true.
Thank you for the show.
Thank you very much, Pastor Morris Boy. Let's talk to this last person. We have our guest already here in studio. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Good morning, you can see. I'm Mr. Mungray. You can see the issue of that case is just hard to believe, because you can see we were all present on the beach.
Okay.
They call people out to perform with the musician. I think what's the name?
Is it Jazino?
Jazino.
Okay.
And they called the first lady out. She had a smaller body. They said, "Do you guys want this lady?" Everyone said, "No." The second lady came. "Do you guys want the lady?" "No." Tell it and go on and on. And she decided to go on stage herself. But I heard a lawyer say about sue. Can you sue the entire public? Because they all were doing recording.
No, but you have to sue the entire public. You can sue one person. They originate where the video originated.
Okay, but if you say that right now, this lady brought herself to stage, and you have all camera on her.
Okay.
And there was nobody who forcing her. The legacy. She knew that she was intoxicated, or she knew her friends were around her. She should have gone on stage. That's what kind of abuse women. That's what she did there.
Thank you very much for calling. Thank you. So folks, that's it right here. This is the Today Show. Better say the Spoon Morning Show right here on Spoon 107.5. We are also live on our various social media handles on Spoon TV Live, Super TV Live, Fabric TV Live, and of course via our YouTube channel at Spoon Talk. My name is Yekezi Zogel. I'm here alongside Sylvester Wowie. Like I said, today we're playing host to the Deputy Managing Director for Administration at the NTA, the National Transit Authority. Mr. Toga Melvin Cephas is already here with us in studio. So we take just a very, very quick break. We come back, we usher in Mr. Cephas this morning on the show. Let's take this break to be back with you.
Just so you know, the suspects that were arrested for drug, he said he's from the office of the vice president. He said he's from the office of the vice president, and he keeps to bribe the LTA agents here. And so the LTA, the tension continued to build here because, I mean, he claiming that the LTA ate the money. You have his ID card. So, from what we are told, he's from the office of the vice president. And he came to talk to the DA to release. This is his ID card. 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 And so we are told he's from the office of the vice president, who actually came to talk to the LDA. Hey, guy! And so the LDA, the place is getting tense here. Yeah, a simple bridge. The LDA, there are allegations of the colleague there who is from the office of the vice president attempting to bribe the LDA to release somebody who they say is, I mean, somebody who is one of the suspects. And so, there he is. Tension continues to build here with the LDA. Tension continues to build here with the LDA. The LDA is insisting that it will take it. The LDA is insisting that it will take it. This is St. Paul Bridge. LTA under Commander Fode Malva, and from all indication, the news that we are getting is the fact that the colleague who has been placed in the vehicle is said to come from the office of the vice president, and he keeps specifically to bribe the LTA. According to him, he has given the LTA some money already to be able to release the suspect, but because they didn't release the suspect, and so he started agitating, and this aroused the angers of the LTA. Everybody inside the cable recording, everybody. The DA action is being seen also. So as you can see, the DA is not taking it lightly. Anybody who beat the man, you on camera, you can't be beating the man.
Okay, folks, welcome back. You're listening to the Today Show right here on Spoon 107.5. The time is 18 minutes, flipping 9 o'clock. So at this juncture, we'd like to welcome you to this special interview with Honorable Toga Melvin Cephas, Deputy Managing Director for Administration at the National Transit Authority. Mr. Cephas, good morning and welcome to Spoon FM and Spoon TV.
Good morning, and let me say good morning to our listening audience, and let me say thank you for the invite. We look forward to a splendid conversation.
Okay. How is the NTA?
Well, the MTA is doing well. As you may be aware, there are a lot of great improvement at the institution.
Okay.
And you know the story of the NTA is a story that spread like a wildfire in Hamilton, especially the manner and form in which the institution was handled in past times. And we have taken on the responsibility to ensure that we resuscitate that institution. So we'll be working tirelessly with our senior management team headed by MD Edmund Ford to ensure that we provide the needed social services, especially as it relates to transportation for our people. And we have been working with our senior management team. And I know you hosted my MD here before, so obviously your audience and know the story of the NTA, where we started from. And basically, you know, we started with just 5 semi-functional buses at the NTA, but they will have up to 48 buses and in our fleet of vehicles. So you are aware of the arrival of the first batch of 35 buses that will be working on our deployment plan and what have you at the NTA currently.
Okay. Yeah, so let's just go back to the transition process a little bit. You said when you took over at the NTA, you only met 5 vehicles.
Yeah, 5 semi-functional buses. So, and the NTA were more like an abandoned institution.
Abandoned?
Yeah, when I say abandoned, obviously after an elections, president will be placing people will be requesting where they want to go, and the NTA was just in one corner that nobody was ever requesting for it. So we took up that challenge to request for that institution because we believe in ourselves that as member of the rescue team that came to provide the basic social services to the people. I think the NTA was an example.
Was there any? You met interim leadership at the NTA, right?
Yeah, obviously the HR at the time was the head of the interim leadership, and Mr. Ford was then a part of the transitional team.
Okay.
That went at the NTA to transition when the president set up the transitional team. So obviously, and he had a little or no knowledge about what was happening, and he had some idea on what's happening at the institution and some of the challenges there. And the interim.
You need to be clear. Idea, but you have some idea. Which one?
When I say no idea, is mean how it was managed, how the place was managed. He had no idea, but he had little idea on some of the challenges that he was going to meet at the institution. Obviously, almost all of the buses were done. And I said we met 5 semi-functional buses because even though 5 buses, we had to do some immediate repair on those buses to ensure that we put them back on the route so that they can be on the route. Those buses were mostly on the outstation route. That is the Monrovia, Kanta to San Nicolas route. That's where those buses were, because we refer to those routes as our profitable routes. These are long range routes that at least we can be able to generate some revenue from at the time. So we had those buses there after the repair. And when we went, most of those buses that were done, what we noticed with them was most of them had a fuel injector problem.
Okay.
And the problem could either be those buses were not taking fuel properly, or the fuel that were being put in the buses were not being treated. So obviously, most of the fuel injectors on almost all of the buses that were there had problem. The fuel that we made there, that was the 5 that we had to do some major repair on. Those were ones that never had fuel injector problem. So our first challenge was to solve the fuel problem. When we met the buses taking fuel in the street. That is the drivers go on to the parking, get the passengers, collect the fare for the passenger, and then remove the cost for fuel. Then the remaining one, then they deposit it wherever they deposited that. I don't know, but I can speak to that. But that was how it was done. So if the driver should put 20 gallons of fuel in a bus from here to Kakata, whether or not you were putting the adequate amount of fuel there, that was something that was not really substantiated. So our first major challenge was to ensure that we start to fuel our buses from the compound. So we made an arrangement with some vendor who will supply all like 1,000 gallons of fuel in 2 weeks. And then we run the buses and then we pay. So we started fueling from our compound like that, and later on we started to treat the fuel that goes into our buses, because obviously we didn't want the fuel injector pump to get damaged again, because these are very expensive parts on the bus. One of those fuel injector pump cost a little over $3,500 for just a piece of those fuel injector pump. They are very expensive. And then the next thing we had of a filling station there, we had to calibrate the fuel tank we had there. The fuel tank we got there can take up to 50,000 gallons, but because it was not in use, so we initially calibrated it up to 10,000. So obviously we're taking 10,000 gallons of fuel now to move to store it in a fuel tanker, and then our fleet of vehicle can go at the station and then take fuel. Currently, we are working on fuel the capacity. We are calibrating it up to 35,000. Because obviously our fleets of vehicles have increased and our fuel consumption level obviously has drastically increased. So we're working on that. Currently, we have a contractor who's been contracted to come and calibrate the fuel tanker up to 35,000.
Okay.
But you cannot do the calibration when you don't have the quantity of fuel to put there. So we'll have to get the 35,000 gallons of fuel, and then you get the contractor come and calibrate up to that level. Because if you calibrate and you don't put fuel there, obviously you're going to close again. I don't know how that works. The technical people can explain that better. But then obviously you have to get the 35,000 gallons of fuel already, and we're working on that with our vendor who currently supplying of fuel to see how best we can get that 35,000 gallons of fuel. And as the guys calibrate, it's already up to 10,000. So they'll put the 10,000 gallon there and they start to calibrate 15, 20, 25, all the way to reach to 35,000.
Okay.
So with our current fleet, at least that will give us a breathing space.
So currently you got 48.
Yeah, we got 48 fleets. These are fleets that are,
they are all
the 48 includes the new around.
Yeah. We got 3 or 4 in the garage that they're doing some minor work on. So normally once they are not active buses, we don't put them in our fleets of active buses. So
yeah, so let's quickly look at the issue of accountability, because everything you spoke of right now during the transition process, it boils down to lack of accountability from the previous leadership. Was there an official turnover note from the previous leadership of the NTA to your leadership? And if so, was there any maybe account balance given to you, or did the NTA even have an account?
So the NTA had an account, and the account balance at the time for the US was less than $50. 50 United States
US dollars.
US dollar. That was less than that. And the Liberian dollar will be a little over maybe 100,000, nothing more.
100,000.
Yeah, somewhere just around there. So and I know those accounts,
the kind of revenue generated.
Those accounts were kind of dormant, because obviously the revenue were not directly moving to the account. There was no proper financial system. So when we got there, we initiated a system wherein all of our revenue goes directly into the account before we make any expenses. So currently, whatever we generate from the passengers, you go deposited into the account, and then there can be some request to make requisition to see how we can get some financing or to make expenses. But before, it was not like that. Like I said, obviously people will go to the field, remove the amount of fuel there and what have you. So basically, that was why we met. We met a little over 300 employees, 300 plus employees there. We have a lot of contractors that we owe for over 6 months. That was one of our major challenges. Those contractors are not taking pay for more than 6 months, even though they were contractors there, but basically they had nothing to do because the institution owed them at the time. Yeah, they couldn't just put them down. We met that liability in our first 6 months. These are some of the things we had to pay all of those contractors off, pay them off, and then ask them to at least sit down until we have need for them. And currently, when we did the advertisement, I think most of them reapply. And then this Saturday, we did tests for those who apply, just to follow the proper channel to see how we can recruit additional staff for our institution.
Have you been able to maybe recommend investigation for the previous leadership to account for the expenditures or to account for their leadership?
So I think the Public Account Committee have been on top of that. They have invited the past administration, I think 1 or 2 times, with the current MD. So that's the role of the PAC now to do that, because obviously when audits are done through the GAC, the PAC is the one responsible to SSR their oversight responsibility. Our role there as administration is to work with the board or of the NTA to ensure that we give the Liberian people the needed services that they need, and not to be running behind whoever mismanaged, who didn't mismanage. We have the Ministry of Justice that should be responsible for that. We have the other integral institutions that are responsible to do that.
Okay, let's now get to speak about the new fleet of NTA buses that arrived in the country a few weeks ago, and were dedicated by the President of the Republic of Liberia. One may want to know, how the distribution of those buses have been done across the country, because I understand deployment has already taken place. I've seen the buses in the streets, transporting Liberians from one place to another. But then a lot of people still don't know, the various parking stations, for those buses, the pickup points and the drop-off points of the buses. So you just want to tell us that.
So, and basically the buses will be deployed in and across the country.
Okay.
And as the Ministry of Public Works have committed to ensure that our rules are pliable, the NTA is also committed to ensure that we move our citizens across the country. And we started the deployment of those buses in phases. And then we started with Mosurado in our current routes that we're currently operating in. Currently, we were running from here to Nima, running from here to Kanta, running from here to Picano, from here to Hapo. Hapo, we initially had 1 bus there. So we currently have 2 buses going Hapo 2 times a week. And we have one in between Plibo to Hapo. That is to move the citizens and most especially those students that are at the TU University. Both of them reside in Plibo, so we have a bus in between there to move them. And currently in Mosurado, we opened 2 additional routes. We opened the New Georgia Estate to Broad Street route. That was not, we weren't running there before. And we opened the Bannerville Estate to Broad Street route. So these are places that we weren't running before. So we have buses on those routes. Currently, the one running from Boston Junction to Broad Street, we have deployed two buses on that route. We have one there initially. So from Boston to Broad Street, and then we have one from the Pool River. From Pool River to Broad Street, we have one running there initially. We have had another one there to make it 2. So all of those places that will have one buses running, we increase it to 2. That is 1 Kobe, 1 coming. So in Mosurado, currently we have almost completed the deployment of buses in Mosurado. And then I know there have been this issue about the fare in Mosurado. We said in and around Monrovia is $50. So if you're moving from EAWA Junction to Broad Street, it's $50. If you're moving from Douala to Broad Street, it's $50. But if you were moving from Pool River to Broad Street, it's $100. If you are moving from
EAWA to maybe Boston,
EAWA to Boston should be the same $50. But if you are moving from Boston Junction to Broad Street, it's $150 because obviously you're leaving from Markibi to Monrovia. So I think for those buses we consider round time, because we have those 2 routes in our category of round time buses. Obviously, these are the 2 different fares that we have. But the confusing thing can be if you were if you got the Boston bus from EAWA Junction, that bus only got the $150 ticket. So if you saw the Boston bus and it has space somewhere around EAWA Junction, you pick you, you're not going to pay $50. You're going to pay the $150 because that's the ticket that bus has. So that's the disadvantage part for those of you who will see the Boston bus along the way, and then you get in, it will be $150. So obviously, before you get in the bus, you already got to know, is this a Boston bus? Obviously, we'll give you $150 ticket because they don't have $50 ticket. I know we saw a video of a student paying $100 apparently he got in a bus, the Pearl River bus.
Yeah.
So if you get in a bus from Broad Street to Pearl River, obviously that's $100 ticket they get. Where you got in a bus from Freeport to go to Broad Street, and that bus is a Pearl River bus, obviously that's the $100 tickets they're going to give you. So we just got to take that into consideration as we get on those buses.
But why can you make the adjustment
like
to be able to get $50 ticket?
The ordinary, Liberians out there will not know, because all they know of is Morovia. It's $50 from every point to Central Morovia, but I mean that is
it's not from every point.
I mean, no, for Morovia.
From Morovia, yeah. So if you get in your bus from outside of Morovia, obviously that's the fare for the bus.
But I mean, can you just put, like what we used to see before, Pearl River, a sign that will indicate that this bus is running Pearl River, so I can't be confused.
So if you look at our route, and currently is to designate a particular bus, on a particular route is difficult because sometimes we have to have buses on that route every day. And if the bus runs for two weeks, you have to carry it in the garage to repair it. While it's in the garage,
another bus
has to be there. So if you say the particular bus is for Pearl River, the day they service in that bus, it means there will be no bus on that particular route. So normally we have the route number, and then we assign buses to that route so that we can always have buses there.
Okay, just address a concern flag there. Levi Seaway says we only heard about fares but no buses on the road for Habel Firestone.
Yeah, so currently, like I said, we are deploying the buses in phases.
Okay.
So for the Habel Firestone route, we currently have our corporate team who doing some little analysis on the route to make sure whether we'll actually need one bus or two bus, or we'll get the needed passengers to go and stop in Habel. So that's some of the conversation that we're having, but we haven't deployed the bus there yet. Similar with Kakata.
Okay.
Kakata, we initially deployed a bus in Kakata last year and in the early part of this year, but then the mayor of Kakata had some issues. The place he wanted the bus to stop is almost like from Kakata city to go to that stopping point is something like $50 on motorbike. So if someone will pay $50 to go to NTA bus and get on a bus and pay $150, it means that $200. So they will rather get in your Tesla than to get in your NTA bus. So the management of NTA work with the city corporation at the time, and then they show us stopping point where we planted bus stop, indicators along those routes. Okay. But every time the buses stop there, someone will come and issue them ticket. So until we can resolve that, we can't put the bus on the road, even though we have all of the stopping points there. But the city mayor have not been definite about those routes that he gave us, whether it is actually definite to deal with it.
And how soon you hope to have
so
the result?
It's just with the local government there. Once he reconcile his issues places, he said we should stop, because obviously you can't have passenger on the bus running to town, and if the bus slow down to pick up another passenger, then say the police can get a bus ticket. Then the other passengers on the bus, kind of delaying the time. So we don't want to have those kind of inconveniences for our passengers. So once the mayor can resolve those issues with his team there, because I know that they have some transport union there with the issue of the fare of NTA, they have some issues where our fare is very low and what I feel, so they want the bus to be a distance that being a problem or two with NTA.
But I think the county authority should be working closer with the NTA that is working.
Yeah, that's why we anticipate, but they are being a little, I don't know. The mayor, I'm told recently he called back that he will not to continue the conversation because the people from the county now need a bus there. Our role is to provide the services. When we go, we meet with your management, we say we need stopping point, we identify the places, we send our PR team, do some advertisement of all of our stopping point, our pick-up time, everything. But every time the bus stop there, then once the police will come and issue ticket, and then it will create all kind of distraction and delay. So that's why we don't have a bus there. But once the local court or the local leadership in Markibi says they're ready for the buses to go there, obviously we'll do the deployment of those buses, because Kakata will already completed the market survey, and obviously we'll have people going to Kakata almost every day and every time. So the people ready for that service there. But the local leadership has to be deliberate about what they want us to do, and one of those places that they gave us to be stopping points where we have already planted our indicator of bus stop and sounds and things if they really mean that need to pass our message on so that the city police cannot be creating distractions for us. Because we want to work with the local leadership so that we can be able to deliver our under services there.
Yeah.
And also we are held 2 separate meetings with the team at the University of Liberia.
Okay.
We're also going to be deploying some buses at the University of Liberia.
So that there's no buses deployed
Currently we
yet.
haven't deployed. Currently we
Okay.
haven't deployed buses there, but in our deployment schedule, we have 2 buses that should be to
Is it the 62-seater buses?
all
or
of
the-
our buses is 60 seaters.
Okay,
So,
60. Okay.
yeah, so we have 2 buses that should be moving from Benson Hospital to Fenner. From Benson Hospital to Fenner, it's the same $50 fare. But when we did the market analysis, the students at the University of Liberia will need more than 2 buses. More than 2 buses. So obviously we're working to see how we can deploy the first 5 buses there, working with the school administration to see how we can be able to have some conversation about revenue losses. Because obviously when the buses carry the student at a certain point in time, students will only be going to school.
Yeah.
And then when the bus go, it will come back empty because they're going to Fenner campus.
Yeah.
So that revenue losses, these are conversations that we are having with the school administration to see how best we can fill in that gap, and then we can have the buses there for the same fare of $50.
And that brings to mind, are you a profit-making institution or providing services?
So I'm not a profit-making institution, and this is why the prices of transportation at the NTA is very low. But what happens is that the government of Liberia subsidize those differences are being created. Like for instance, from Boston to Rush, if you're to get on a Rush Thursday, not NTA, you first pay the first $150 for Boston ELW Junction. If from ELW Junction to Rush, you are on $150 at $300. If you do that back and forth, it's $600. But if you are to get on an NTA bus, you pay $150 to come. So there's a difference of $300. So that gap of $300 is what we're talking about. In the case of the University of Liberia, the buses at a certain point in time, the buses will only be carrying students because they're coming on the campus directly.
Yeah.
It's not coming there where other cities morning hour people just because some of the buses go, they will have to come back to pick up students to carry on campus. When the buses coming back, it will either come empty or not filled. And then we can say we'll wait for the bus to get filled before we come for the other students that should be going for class. So there are some revenue gap. We do all of the analysis. We want to work with the management team, the Ministry of Finance, to see how we can be able to fill in this management gap. Even to our press, it's already low.
And that is where my question comes, because if you're providing services, I mean, you taking the students to the UL campus during the morning hour, in the evening you have to bring them back. So if you talk about sitting with the UL management to see how you can fill in that gap, is like seeing how you can get some funding, to accommodate the empty buses that will be coming.
Obviously, because besides providing services, we are under obligation to maintain the buses. $50 is if you were to get in a commercial car from Benson Hospital to Fenner campus, you'll be nothing less than $100 or $150 in between. I can be exactly right. So we are already giving it at $50. So it means when we go, to be able to come back with passenger. But when we're coming back empty, it means many few. So these are conversations we're having with the school administration to see how best we can have more buses there.
Okay, one of our followers is asking, Sam 40 says, good morning, I'm Sam 40 watching from Golodi, Lassana Town, Bombay County. Why the bus can reach Tottenberg?
Yeah, so currently the bus is now reaching Tottenberg, but obviously in subsequent time we'll have a bus that will go straight Tottenberg.
Okay.
And one of the reasons is initially we didn't have more buses. 1, 2, the population of people will be moving.
Okay.
And also we working on that at least so that the bus can go Tottenberg 2 times a week too, like we have from Maryland, because we can have the bus to go every day to Tottenberg. Because we may not, and we may not have the number of passengers there. But our marketing team working on a schedule where which we can announce to the public to ensure that. But we have Tottenberg, the press of Tottenberg on our deployment list. I mean, obviously Tottenberg will be captured in whatever we do. We're going to have buses going to Tottenberg. We're going to have currently our buses are now reaching Bopolu City. but we'll have buses covering Bopolu City and all. But all of those things, we are just doing it in phases.
Okay.
So we're in
So when are the rest of the fleet of buses? I think 20, right? Plus cargo trucks.
Plus five cargo trucks
cargo trucks.
for to move our goods for market women. I can't be exact now because I haven't gotten.
Is it this year?
No, maybe early next year or before the first quarter of next year. I can say this year, but the year already in there. So if it will be this year, by now, no, I know almost by now I should have the tracking number. I can be exact with that because when those other buses were coming, the reason we announced an initial date is because we were tracking those buses. Immediately it's pick up from India, we started tracking them, and they will have the date that it should arrive at this. If there's any changes on that particular day, you will see the tracking number will be extending, so you can be able to say, yeah, by this time it will be here and what have you.
Is it the same 60-seater bus?
No, those ones
mini
buses. Those ones will be 18-seaters. We are 18-seater, yeah, but in the 18-seater we have 10 air condition and we have 10 without air condition. So we
wow. Some got air condition and some don't have air condition.
Yeah, so the 10 with the air condition will be using it for some special services. For airport shelter and what have you. So if that service is needed and people can pay for it, then obviously we can be able to bring more, like we're doing for the cargo truck, where we're bringing in the first 5 to see how we can help facilitate the movement of goods for market women on our various market days at the various market ground, so that we can be able to reduce the price of commodity on our market. So these are all projects that we're working on to see once the work pilot project one is successfully implemented, it means there's a need for it, and then we can bring more on the market.
Okay, so what are some maintenance policies have you guys instituted to ensure that the buses are properly maintained? Because maintenance has always been a problem with the NTA buses.
Yeah, so before the arrival of those buses, we had a maintenance plan that we presented to the board, and the board went through those plans. And we currently have a maintenance plan in place at the NTA that we're working with currently. And before the arrival of those buses, some of our challenges we have, obviously the budget year are almost in there. And the allotment we have for fuel was 200,000. We are already exhausted that particular allotment since October. We have exhausted the fuel that the government of Liberia allotted to us. Then additional
on what?
35 fuel.
On fuel?
Then
for the five buses?
No, that was not 5 buses. It was gradually moving up, and it went up to 18 buses.
18 buses?
Yeah, up to 18 buses. So currently we have 4 active, and we have 4 in the garage that they're working on. So 18 buses. This is why I said we have 48 active buses.
Okay. So government is fueling these buses.
So government can subsidize us with fuel. So the fuel.
So what happens to the money you generate?
So what government gave us, it cannot, cover all of our fuel expenses. Like for instance, this budget year, government gave us 200,000 for fuel. As of October this year, we are exhausted that amount, and we have spent up to 600,000 on fuel. So it means additional 400,000 was spent on fuel at the institution. Currently, we have additional 35 buses. In our proposed budget for 2026 at the institution, we have proposed $1.5 million for fuel, because the fuel is what the buses really consume a lot of fuel there. But the government of Liberia gave us a little over 500,000. It means there's a huge gap of 1 million for fuel right there. Currently, we're working with the legislature, the Committee on Ways and Means, to see how best they can help us to fill in that gap. Besides fuel, we have maintenance.
So you're going to Capital Building to lobby?
Yeah, we got to go. We put and share the money around that. So we're talking to them. But currently, as we speak, we have a challenge for fuel. The 35,000 gallon of fuel I'm talking about that we need. The cost of that 35,000 gallon is a little over 121,000. If you do it at $14.12 per gallon of fuel, we need that 35,000 gallon to calibrate our fuel tanker, so that so that we can be able to adequately fuel the 35 buses plus the 14 buses that we have currently running. That's 100,000 plus just for that few. So there's a huge
$14.
$4 12 cents something, but it can fluctuate. Somebody come to $4 10 cents, somebody come to $4, you know. Yeah.
So there was of recent there was
is $4 12 cents.
When the buses were deployed. I mean, we saw some of the buses leaning one side. Some of them, you know, twisted one side, and it brought questions as to whether those buses are new brand buses, but or they are maybe fairly used or used buses that were bought.
So some of those places that the buses were, you said leaning, it's because of our rule. And if the buses somewhere around
the new buses,
I just want you to take observe whatever car you drive. Come and say, got a car I can be driving, right?
Okay.
If you're leaving from between Stella Maris to past City Hall, there,
okay,
the road is somehow laying one side. When you drive, just look ahead of you when cars are driving, you will see that. But the reason people notice it with those pickup buses because they are very long. It's just a rule. The buses are not leaning anywhere.
So you are saying the buses are not leaning at all?
Not at all.
I know, are we talking about new buses here or fairly used?
Brand new buses.
All the buses
are brand new buses. So even our technical team with our consultants that currently work in the technical department, they are still doing what we call a post-delivery inspection. Even though we did that inspection at the port, we receive those buses, but the work they are doing is check every item on those buses to make sure that there's no factory faults on it. We have a machine, put it on it, check it up to make sure everything on it working. All of those buses start from 0 mileage. We have to connect the mileage, and then it run up to 500 kilometers before we start to do some of those major observations. So those are brand new buses, not fairly used buses.
Okay. And let's talk about your headquarters. You officially
So before we go to the headquarters, also there was a video circulating on Front Page Africa.
Okay.
That the bus broke down in Banga, and then there was that video. Even though the caption that he had that the bus broke down, the audio in that video says that the bus got stuck because obviously it's still raining and the bus went on the grass and that place was slippery. So moving the tire was kind of sloping because there's no grip on the grass so that the car can move. But this the third story that Front Page Africa have published about NTA. The wrong story, and then they haven't come back to correct it. I think that's not good journalism. The first time when we were procuring in the first 100 days, the president gave 300,000 for spare parts, and then those spare parts were in a procurement process of those spare parts. When Front Page Africa posted that in fact there were no spare parts coming to country, there had been no procurement process done for spare parts at the NTA. Later on, those spare parts came. And it was verified that there were procurement process letter or no objection from the PPCC given in those papers. That was how we pay up to 18%.
But does Front Page Africa
the next thing was
over to you?
Nobody have ever.
It said that they get to you, but
nobody have ever reached out to me from.
Some of the people feel
nobody
has
ever reached out to me from Front Page Africa. I remember last year, one journalist reached out to the MD to make some inquiry about the spare parts.
Okay.
And the MD told them those spare parts were on the way. He left and wrote different story that there was no procurement process done and the spare parts were not coming. Recently, when those buses came, the Front Page Africa again wrote a story and said that the contract that was signed with ABK Motor, there was no procurement process followed. In fact, the contract was hidden and it was not to the public. The contract has been on our website since February of this year. We have posted that particular contract with the ABK Motor Incorporated. If you go on the NTA website now, nta.lr.com, if you go there, you will see that the contract for ABK be posted ever since, not just with ABK, but all of those institutions or companies that we have subcontracted to work with the NTA. Once we sign those contracts, automatically we update it to our website. You will see the date it was published. The way you got that contract from our website, and then it misinformed the public that the contract was done secretly. It had not been published, and Liberian people don't know about it. And what I think that was wrong. Recently, very active.
Updated
every time we update it. Even this, my appearance today said every
I was on the website.
You might see it there. Even our press listing is on our website. Our charter delivery service is on our website. Every activities that we do at the NTA,
Because in
we
the
put it on the
absence of
website. We put it on the
information, people
No,
expect
that's not in the absence of information. I think the guys at the Front Page Africa has to improve their way of writing. You understand? So you don't just misinform the public, which is wrong. You can do that, you know, and you turn in the repetition of people who tirelessly working to ensure we provide public services to our people. They need to improve on that. I don't know who's the head of Front Page Africa, but whoever is reporting, you have to come down on your reporter to report the fact news. So what Ronnie here has to do, well, I'm sure he's not the one doing it, but he has to get down on his reporters who are bringing in information that misinformation to the public. If you go on our website, you see the date that thing was published and what have you. Then came the video from Banga, that you said the bus broke down. Even though you can see that the bus on the grassy area where he left the road trying to park on the grassy area, he said he broke down. The reporter there saying the bus got stuck. For your red house, say the bus broke down.
I'm going to ask you, on new buses, and people have to push the new buses or say buses.
No. So that was not the case with it. So obviously the NTA to the administrative building, the NTA administrative building was caught by fire. The fire service, Liberia Fire Service agency, they gave their report that it was not electrical fault. Whatever that caused the burning down of that building, we don't know about it. But we went at the NTA, we started working from the garage, and then currently we are working on our administrative building. In the 2024 budget year, the government of Liberia, through the legislature, they allotted some 400,000 for the construction of our administrative building. While we were in the bidding process, then the president announced a no-go zone for motorcycle. So motorcycle were not taking the main route. Obviously, that burden came back to NTA because at the time we didn't have enough buses. So of that 400,000, we went to our board, seek approval for the board, and then we approved 225,000 that we were able to buy 3 new buses. And as we won those buses, we maintain them. Whatever revenue from those buses, we put in an extra account to be able to fund the construction of the administrative building. And we have been doing that since. We have got a company, went through the procurement. The company won the process to pre-finance up to July of 2026 so that they can complete that building, and then we'll be able to pay them. So we've been saving in that account for the past few months. And we have done few payment to them, which is nothing, but we were able to have the construction of the administrative building ongoing. We completed foundation. We're working on the casting of the first floor. Now the guys are building the form. If you go there, you will see they are building the form. We're hoping that between now and July 26th, we will complete that building. And so
how much is that building going to cost you?
Some over 500,000. The total cost of that building is over 500,000. So now the buses are running. It will take time to generate that money. We'll also go lobby with the legislature again because we needed to get buses initially to see how they can give us some support for that administrative building, whatever the case is, so that we can be able to meet up with our obligation. Obviously, our Liberian company pre-financing right after they will obviously want to get their cash back because these are business people. So these are 2 things that we'll be going to the legislature for to see how best we can get some support for the administrative building and some support for fuel repair and maintenance.
Okay, so if you just joined us, you are listening to the Today Show right here on Spoon 107.5. It's 3 minutes up until 10 o'clock, and we have in our studio the Deputy Managing Director for Administration at the NTA, and of course he's here and telling us a lot about the NTA, especially as it relates to the recent arrival of new fleet of buses and deployment process and everything. He's been here talking more about them. We want to go to the lines, but just before we do that, you also did launch a 5-year strategic plan that you said aims to modernize public transport in Liberia. You just want to give us a summary of the content of that document.
So in our 5-year strategic plan, which we already started to implement in the government of Liberia arrest agenda, the government of Liberia have committed to give the NTA 5 buses every year That's your
5
projection,
buses
5
every year.
buses every year. So in
Okay.
2026, 2024, 2025, 2026, up to 2029, there will be 60 buses.
Okay.
So from our strategic plan, all we did was to look at our financial model to ensure that those 5 buses that the government will give us every year will bring it up from. That's how we came about with having the 60 fleets of vehicle coming to the country. That's where the idea came from. So we'll have it because government of Liberia have committed to say, okay, 10 every year we'll give you 10, we'll give you 10 buses at the cost of 85,000. So 85,000 times 10 will be some 850,000. Every year government committed to give us that. So if once we can get a company,
So every year 10 buses, not 5.
every year 10 buses.
Okay.
Every year 10,
So you
10
brought
buses.
the
So we brought
buses in
that,
advance.
brought the buses in advance.
All the buses are now in country for the next 6 years.
Yeah, for the next 6 years. That's the commitment for the government of Liberia. So all we need to do now is to pay the vendor who supply those buses in 2 years.
Okay. All right, let's go to the lines. Probably our listeners.
Back the money or the government of Liberia?
So the government of Liberia will pay a portion, but obviously the government of Liberia plan is within 6 years. So the government of Liberia is paying a portion of that amount. The NTA has a responsibility to pay a portion of that amount. So last year, in this year budget, the government of Liberia allotted 500,000. That 500,000 was used as initial deposit towards the payment of the buses. This year, I know they have some 850,000 in this current year budget or a little that will go towards the budget, the buses again, and then we will, whatever we generate from in-house, will be able to match it against it to ensure that we pay for those buses.
Thank you. That's Honorable Tour Guide Melvin Cephas, Deputy Managing Director for Administration at the NTA. Let's take a few calls because it's already 10 o'clock here in Monrovia and we should be leaving. But our hotlines are not on. So call us on the alternative number 0770 41 77 24, 0770 41 77 24, 0555 101075, 0880 7997 95. Those are the numbers to put it through. Let's talk to this first person. Hello, your name and where you join us from.
My name is George calling from Fender.
Okay, let's hear you from Fender.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm a vet. My concern has to do with where, because in other countries, you find terminal, the people who, like SPC, the terminal in African, they got it, and all the stuff. So basically, for those for whom that travel inside Liberia and outside, you will have to carry a where when you come from there or all of town, like Grand Judah, Maryland, all this stuff. You go there where you get a good terminal system, you go there, get a good terminal system to stay there and go the bus to go and come. But what I'm saying, you have to be able to build terminal as Grand Monrovia, Epic Superior in part west to Boston.
Okay. Thank you. 0770 4177 24, 0555 101075. Let's talk to this person. Good morning. Your name and where you join us from?
I'm going to say one more mission. It's coming from FTA.
Okay, let's hear you from FDA, madam.
I want to tell my son in studio thank you this morning. I tell you thank you for the what you people are doing. You people are doing it because of Liberia, it's not because of party. But I want to recognize that they problem with the fee because we got our children going to school. The commercial buses are charging $150, $120 to go. And you people, at least the government could charge the children $75, but we are paying $100.
From where? From where to where? From where to where?
Eton.
From
Eton to where?
From FDA to town?
No, from Red Line.
From Red Line to town?
Yeah.
No, it's not $100.
It's not $100 according to him. It's 50, right?
No, but
we'll check to see which one of the buses is.
Yeah, you please check.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you so for the work you people doing. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. 0770 41 77 24, 0770 41 77 24, 0880 799795, 0555 101075. Good morning, your name and where you join us from. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Let's hear you out.
I'm okay. My name is Ayuba Sherry, calling from Ayuba community.
Ayuba, please go ahead.
Yeah, the attention given to the bosses that happen, like for example, I wanted for the director to make a little clear to us because all the bosses are broken down in Bangladesh according to post. So I don't know
Were
how.
you listening to the radio? Hello? You've been following the conversation? He just spoke about that. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, I'm Prince Fogba, calling from NTA, Transit Patrol Supervisor.
Yeah, Prince, go ahead. You say we're gonna supervisor?
Transit Patrol, the inspectors.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so let me use the occasion to tell our chief, DMDA, thank you so much for the collaboration. I didn't know clarity on our operation. As regard to the lady that just called from Red Left Grocery, it's $50 on our boss, no $100 to be like Kilabin bosses. No, more of the people mistaking Kilabin, the yellow bosses with NTA bosses.
Okay.
They consider everything as NTA, but it is $50. So
thank you.
We don't even allow our conductors to do that, so we are checking on them and monitoring them on a daily basis. I want to say
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to another person. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
My name is Mark Russell, calling you from Kingsville.
Yeah.
I want to tell the gentleman in studio, thank you very much for making the clarity. No bus have failure or broke down in Bum County. Just what the gentleman is saying in studio is what happened with the vehicle. But our people, they don't see any good out of their own people in this country. When the street didn't say you, when your husband say you, the street won't buy you. That's the problem we're facing in this country. Gentlemen, thank you. And look, make sure some other bosses go to my home. You can. I want to see some other bosses there. I beg you, gentlemen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Prince Fatima, and I join you from the Muhammad Gandhi Intellectual Center, FBA District 4.
Yeah, please go ahead quickly.
Let me commend the director in you. I think these are things we expect government institutions to be doing. I think what the NT has done will help the struggling masses of our country. The issue of transportation is very key and cardinal. Today, the NTA has invested into new buses and even trying to reawaken all of those old buses so that they can commute people from one destination to another. Then it is laudable. Let me say kudos to the MTA family. I think these are things we expect other entities to get into.
Thank you.
So thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Our lines are buzzing, so we are already out of time. Let's take one more call. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello? Okay, all right. Let's see if we can talk to this person on this line. Hello, your name and where you join us from? Hello, are you there? Okay, that person is not yet ready. Hello?
Hello.
Your name and where you join us from?
Yeah, my name is Josh. That's Maurice from Banasville.
Yeah, Josh, quickly.
Yeah, I just want to get some understanding from your studio guest.
Okay.
He said that from Port River to Broad Street is $100, right? Yeah, then why in case car being high, then you stop him Iron Gate.
That is $100.
Wow.
Yeah, that is $100. Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Cephas, you want to address some of?
Yeah, so let me first of all say thank you to all of the callers who have called, and one specific caller talk about the terminal issue.
Yeah,
it's in our plan. Even the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Finance have in a draft budget gave us some 300,000 that we use to construct terminal in 3 different locations. Those terminal will have warehouses. So currently have some terminal in few counties which got some little space for warehouse. We got some in Buchanan, we got some in Bond County, we got one in Kakata which is unfinished, we got one in Bowater side. So we're going to renovate those terminals, and then we'll build additional 3 terminals in 3, maybe Nima, Maryland, or Grand Chile, so that because these are places that Lofa will get to Lofa.
Lofa far from the city, but
we'll get to Lofa. But the good news here is that we have buses that will be going as far as Foya. So we got one going from here to Fonchema, we got one from here to Foya. So we'll deploy them at a later day. So Lofa will get good news for you too.
Okay. Anything finally that maybe we didn't ask that you want to mention?
Yeah. So basically, I want to say to our passengers that will be getting on the NTA bus, we want to make an appeal to you to at least respect our conductor, even though they are playing a role, but at least talk to them nicely. And also, let's help.
What volume of load is expected on the buses? What volume?
Round time, we expect anybody will load beside your bag.
Okay.
When you are moving around town, no load. Other time,
what about
other time? I think it's 25 kg, not more than 25 kg. Just carry on, something for carry on. Okay. So yeah, we don't.
So it's not for market.
It's not for market. This is why we're picking the trucks. Those trucks will be able to help. You can get on the bus, and then the truck can carry your goods. So hopefully, maybe I don't want to say your time because I'm tracking it now. So yeah, but early next year, we'll have those trucks in country, and then we can be able to move our market. We make goods and services. But we want to say thank you to all of you, and we're looking out to you for your support. You get on the buses, please. Whatever recommendation you have, don't hesitate to reach out on our page. Reach out to us. We'll have people monitoring our page, Facebook, through our website. You can send us email and what have you, so that we can be able to get your recommendation. We have numbers on the bus. You can call those numbers. But thank you very much for the interaction.
Okay, thank you very much. And that's, of course, Honorable Toga Melvin Cephas. Honorable Cephas is the Deputy Managing Director for Administration at the National Transit Authority. He's been here, talking more about, the NTA, the new fleet of buses that arrived in the country of recent and deployed in various locations, and, those ones that are expected to come, plus other issues related to the NTA. It's been a wonderful conversation here, and I believe you, our listeners and our viewers, enjoy the conversation. My name is Yekezi Zobel. We'll be back here on tomorrow with another very, very interesting edition of the show. Tomorrow, we hope to play host to folks from the Ministry of Health. You've been hearing this issue about this statistics on HIV and AIDS, and it's been making some rounds on social media. And even, like, I went red light the other time, people were all talking about it and kind of trying to be thought of it. But, we will host folks from the Ministry of Health tomorrow. They'll be telling us the actual statistics and, the status of HIV and AIDS here in Liberia is going to be a very, very informative and educative conversation that you wouldn't want to miss. I've been here alongside Sylvester Wowie. Mr. Wowie, anything finally before we take leave of you?
Yeah, I just want to talk to the Deputy Managing Director there from the National Transit Authority to see if they can have a suggestion box in the NTA where people can also make a suggestion to NTA on issue or service.
Okay, I think he said it's there. Okay. But also you got the numbers on the buses. So once the buses pass, you get a suggestion. You get, take down the number and call it. But folks, it's been a wonderful time. We'll be back here on tomorrow with another fascinating and very, very thunderstriking conversation. Bye-bye.